Yo, what is up, guys? It is Cole here, and today I am going to be giving you guys my honest thoughts and opinions about week 7 of the college football season. It's pretty crazy that we are already basically halfway through at least the regular season of college football this year, and to think that just under 2 months ago, the season started with week 0, so pretty crazy. But week 7 was this past Saturday, and it did not disappoint. But before we get into Saturday's action, we should actually talk about Friday. Utah losing to Arizona State. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, they either I think they dropped out of the rankings, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know. Again, something I should have looked at before recording, but you know what? We're far into the video now. We're a minute in, so too late. But yeah, Cam Rising, I just apparently he got injured again. It was a leg injury, and he is out indefinitely, which would supposedly grant him another year of eligibility if he wanted to use a medical red shirt again. I don't know how that's allowed. I think there needs to be some Cam Rising rule. I mean, if you think about it, like, the two guys who get made fun of this stuff the most, Cam McCormick on Miami, he's in like his ninth year, and now Cam Rising with also a plethora of teams. He was at Texas before this, I think. So Cam Rising needs to, like, I don't know what he needs to do, make a LinkedIn profile or something, but not football. Um, but until then, um, Isaac Wilson will be the Utah quarterback. He is the brother of Zach Wilson, going to the other Utah school out there in the northwest-ish area. So, yeah, good luck to him. He's a true freshman, by the way, so pretty impressive that he's really just the backup QB for that team. But Arizona State has looked pretty solid so far. I think their only loss was Texas Tech, if I'm not mistaken. So, yeah, they've looked pretty good so far. And Cam Scatabo, their running back, has looked really, really good. So, yeah, props to them for that win Friday night. But now, getting into the Saturday action, we had a bunch of really close calls, a bunch of really good games, and overall just a lot of really good football on Saturday. So, two teams who had, I guess, what I like to call struggle wins, which are, I guess, wins by close margins over teams who you should not be in close games with. Alabama and Tennessee, among others, I would presume. Penn State, too. Alabama quite nearly gave that game away, literally, at the end against South Carolina. Lost an onside kick, and South Carolina had the ball with under a minute to go, down two, and Lenoris Sellers just sells the game away and throws an interception. So, um, there were certainly a lot of people who wanted that upset to happen, but unfortunately, it did not. But then, Tennessee struggled with Florida. So it's just like, whatever game you look at, like, if you look at how Alabama has played, you would think Tennessee's going to win. But if you look at how Tennessee has played the last 2 weeks, you would think Alabama's going to win. So I don't know who's, like, more likely to rebound or what, but both of those teams really need a win, and only one of them is obviously going to get it. So, should be an interesting game Saturday night, but I feel like Alabama's going to win, but I'll make a prediction video later on in the week. Penn State struggling with USC, and then the most bogus thing of all is that they were rewarded for their struggles by moving up in the AP poll, moving up one spot to number 3. So, a big game with Ohio State is inching closer and closer by the week. I think it's early November, if I'm not mistaken, which is only a couple of weeks away. So that's a big game. It's at home, and they have a chance to give Ohio State probably their second loss, because I don't think Ohio State should lose before that game. Speaking of Ohio State, um, that was pretty funny. That was pretty funny, I gotta say. Will Howard just you would think like some of these guys, Alan Bowman, Cam Rising, Will Howard, okay. Will Howard I kind of just prematurely threw in there. Will Howard had a very good game up until that point in the game, the last play of the game. But seriously, before that point, he did have a very good game. I don't know what his stats were exactly, but I think he only threw like a select few incompletions the whole night. Didn't get a ball intercepted the whole night. So he played a solid game, but you would just think guys like him who are in their sixth, fifth year, whatever, with a different school than where they started, you would think those guys would just have more situational awareness, and unfortunately for Howard, he did not, and it cost his team the game. Oregon, I think, solidifying themselves at least at the moment as the front runners in the Big Ten, although certain Ohio State fans do not want to believe so. They still think that their team is better, even though they lost. And I've I've seen some absolutely horrid comments about how Jeremiah Smith's push off that caused them to go 15 yards back on the last drive wasn't really a push off. The refs got that one wrong. That was the most blatant push off I think I have ever seen in a football game ever. Um, if Denzel Burke wasn't on our team, we would have won by 3 touchdowns. Oh, what a shame, because he is. So just a bunch of stupid excuses from Ohio State fans, but I guess what else would you expect? So they lost and they went down 2 spots to number 4. Oregon has Purdue on the schedule this week, which is um, a really nicely timed matchup because Purdue doesn't do much else but just ruin top 5 teams' seasons when they least expect to. So, should be an interesting game there. It is at Purdue Friday night. So, good game there. Texas dismantles Oklahoma. I mean, I kind of saw that one coming, I'm not going to lie. Um, Ole Miss falls again to LSU, and I think, um, I don't know, they might be out of the SEC championship running. Like, if Texas stays undefeated, or even with one loss, like, think about LSU is undefeated in conference, Texas A&M is undefeated in conference, so they're going to need one or two of those teams to have 2 conference losses by the end of the year. So we'll see whether or not that actually happens, but LSU, that's a nice win for them. I wasn't sure if they were going to win that, but they did, and home field advantage once again prevailed in that big rivalry. So, yeah, those are just some of my thoughts on week 7. I will be sure to put out a week 8 prediction video later on in the week. So I will see you guys in that one, but for now, peace out.